Very pleased to have the management team from Marin Software, Dave Yovanno, to my far right, CEO, and recently appointed CFO, Katrina Fallon. I think Dave's going to start with a few slides to give you an overview, and then we'll launch into questions. Right here in the front is also Jason Starr, who's recently joined as the head of IR.
Very good. Thanks, Nandan. So before we get started, I just want to call your attention to the SEC Safe Harbor provision. I will be giving forward-looking statements as well as talking about non-GAAP financials, so we just point you to the IR section of the marinsoftware.com website or the SEC for more information to that end. And with that out of the way, welcome to Marin Software. We are a marketing software company that is bringing SaaS to advertising. We are the global leader in paid search technology with over $7 billion in spend under management on our platform. And we are the only independent vendor to be combining search, social, and display together on an integrated platform and uniting these channels through unique audience data. We're a global company. We've got 12 offices in 8 countries. 34% of our revenue is international. In 2014, our revenues were $99.4 million and gross margin at 67%. For those who are not familiar with advertising, I thought it might help to provide some context in terms of the space that we're operating in. If I'm a new advertiser or an agency, typically where I'm going to start is search. And with that, that means Google. I'll go into Google and set up my AdWords account and run my paid search campaigns. But if you're a mid-market to enterprise level client, and for us, we define that as roughly spending more than $100,000 a month in advertising, you may expand that spend to the other large search publishers, that being Yahoo, Bing, internationally it's Yandex, Baidu, Yahoo Japan. Once that's dialed in, you may look to Facebook. There's a lot of talk about Facebook today. They've really come on strong in the last couple of years in terms of building up high-quality, high-performance ad supply. Instagram has just come online recently as well, and then, of course, there's Twitter. And then display. You'll typically reach out to Yahoo, AOL. You may open up a seat on some of the top exchanges, Rubicon, PubMatic. And I think what's important to note here is that over 70% of total digital ad spend goes to 10 companies. That's cited by IAB Research. I point you to their website. They produce an annual report in conjunction with PwC. And it's most of the logos on this slide. And each of those companies offers a technology stack that a brand or an agency can tap into to run their advertising programs on that publisher. So with Google, that's AdWords. With Facebook, that's Power Editor. And what brands and agencies are doing is they are setting up their first-party marketing data on that publisher stack. They're setting up their campaigns. They're driving their bidding strategies. They're setting up their creative. A lot of it is moving to personalized creative today. And, of course, they're looking at their reporting and their analytics. But when you look at the level of effort that is required to do that with each of these large publisher stacks, it's not sustainable, right? That's the problem that Marin is solving. We are providing a unified technology platform above the large publisher advertising stacks, and we're trying to provide a single point for clients to create and manage their first-party marketing data, to create and manage their campaigns, to run their targeting and their optimization, and drive their reporting and analytics, consolidating all that in one UI, one software experience, if you will. One of the connectors of our platform, key initiative this year, is around our audience marketing suite. And so this is where we are leveraging our unique access to search intent data, that $7 billion in spend that we've got under management, very valuable intent data, and we are starting to apply that data to your display campaigns. We're applying that data to Facebook campaigns. So that's a little bit of context about what Marin is doing as a business. We've been in business for 9 years. We're working with all of the major blue-chip advertisers, roughly 40% of the top Fortune 100 companies. We cover all verticals. Retail is our largest vertical, yet it's only 25% of our total revenue, working with large brands like Macy's and Gap, all the way down to the automotive group. That's General Motors, it's Volkswagen. In the financial category, it's JP Morgan Chase, it's American Express. We're also working with these brands as agencies. So 46% of our revenue comes from agencies, and they essentially act as a reseller, if you will, of Marin Software. Either it's an in-house marketing team within a brand that will use Marin Software, or it's an agency that will use Marin Software, but it's not Marin Software. We're just providing the technology and the platform for them to execute their paid media campaigns. The value that they get from using our product it comes in 2 forms. We're going to drive higher financial lift, and we're going to save them time. So on the latter point, saving you time, it's things like automating and syncing your campaign instructions from one publisher to another. So a change that you make in AdWords will sync that and make that same change in Yahoo Bing. We have very sophisticated reporting capabilities and can very quickly and easily kind of filter down to underperforming or higher performing campaigns, and you're submitting those bid adjustments or those campaign changes back to the different publishers, hitting all publishers with one click, if you will. In terms of the financial lift, we've got patents on bidding algorithms. We've got unique access to first-party data. This all kind of helps drive better intelligence and better performance in how we manage campaigns. And, of course, we're leveraging cross-publisher and cross-channel data to drive that unique financial lift. We also have a unique business model. It's one of the key things that makes us unique in our category is we are a SaaS company. We have an activity-based SaaS subscription model. It's based on a % of monthly spend. Our average contract length is 15 months. And we are charging a monthly minimum. It ranges anywhere between 50 and 70% of the projected monthly recurring revenue. We are one of the few, if the only company who is taking this same SaaS model to display. Display, as you know, has operated for a very long time since the beginning as an insertion order-driven business, this relationship-driven business. It hasn't been programmatic from day one like search and social has, but it is changing. The programmatic aspect of display is the highest growth portion of display. We're also serving a large addressable market. So with that $7 billion in spend under management, that's still under 5% of our total addressable market today. It's about $159 billion total market. Search is the largest addressable market total for advertising, $76 billion globally at a 9% CAGR. Display and video is a $46 billion market globally at a 10% CAGR. Social, although it's mostly Facebook today, $23 billion market with an 18% CAGR. One thing to note on display, the programmatic part of display is forecasted to be about half of total display in just a couple years. Mobile cuts through everything that we do. On average, it's just over 40% of total spend under management goes to people on mobile devices on the Marin platform. It's also helpful to kind of take a look at the segment that we're playing in. It's good to kind of make reference to players in the marketing cloud space. This is IBM, Salesforce, SAP. These companies are heavily invested in data services, CRM. They've expanded now into email. It's about business intelligence and analytics. But what they're not doing yet is providing the capability to take action on that data to do two things that I think are important and have to do with advertising. That is creating demand and fulfilling demand. You're going to fulfill demand when you see a form of intent, like I'm searching for something, or if I visit a website, you can retarget on that latter attribute. And that's what players in what we call the advertising cloud space are doing is we're helping brands take action on their data to create demand or fulfill demand. So it's a variety of different companies. And if this helps, it helps sort out, kind of the noise, if you will, or kind of lack of understanding in the advertising space. I look at traditional ad tech. I spent a lot of time professionally, and I used to work for a company, Conversant, for a long time. And what this traditional ad tech segment is about is third-party serving standard IAB ad units through a managed service business model. It has to do with media arbitrage. And they're doing it as a point solution. These are just display companies. What I think the future is moving to is this ad cloud model, this Marin-type model, where you're dealing with the larger sources of supply. And this is tapping into via an API. This is not third-party serving, but tapping in via their ad API into the publisher's proprietary technology, their proprietary data, and providing a platform service with full transparency and control, and now having access to these native ads that are higher performing than the standard ads, and doing this in a cross-channel way, not just focusing on display or just on search, but combining everything together in an integrated platform. And there's room for growth with this model, we believe. We started in search. We've expanded recently in social and display, but this easily extends to shopping is going to become a bigger part of our model into next year, as well as video. We plan to be building there as a source of supply builds up in addressable TV. We expect to expand and tap into that. Out-of-home advertising, radio, Internet of Things. You can see that, again, leveraging our unique access to search data and applying it to these other channels is an area for growth for us. One last quick slide on our financials. Over the last 4 years, 21% CAGR. This year we are guiding $106.5 million in revenue and forecasting to be adjusted EBITDA break-even in Q4. So just a quick intro to Marin Software.